Scorpio, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. My name is Jackie. Let's get right into your tarot and astrology messages for the 23rd through the 30th. I hope you guys are doing great today. We have an exciting week. A lot's going to be happening. But you know, Scorpio, I wanted to talk for a second about the Pluto retrograde that's been going on since April. It's going to stay there until the third week in October. I just feel like for you guys, this is feeling sort of in the process. The reason why I want to bring it up now is because I feel like we're sort of at the end of the beginning stages of this, right? Because it started in April, it's going to be going into October. It's just extra personal for you, given that Pluto is your sign's ruling planet. And I could feel how you've been, too many there. I could feel how you've been preparing to get more comfortable speaking your truth and making your voice heard. At the same time, guys, a lot of people aren't talking about this yet. I do want to start talking about it a little bit more now because energetically you are preparing for your south node of karma to enter your sign in January. And we usually start to feel this anywhere from 6 to 12 months before. So whether you realize it or not, your energy is currently in this like, okay, let's clean this up mode, right? And it's important to pay attention to this. This is happening in your house of communication, right? So you're transforming the way you express your ideas to the world. So stay present in your surroundings. Don't sleep on important connections with others. You don't want to do that. That's where that Pluto retrograde is hanging right now. So there's a lot of shifts that are going on energetically, getting ready for that south node to enter your sign in January. Now the go big or go home eclipse with the square to Jupiter, which I'm talking about, this is going to create a whirlwind that honestly, I advise you to just kind of step away from. If I was you, Scorpio, let's pull a Celtic cross with the traditional Rider-Waite, and then we'll kind of work that in, because this is happening. The eclipse itself is happening in your second house, but it's second house and the eighth house works together, and you are the eighth house. The eighth house is your home. Right? So the eighth house is all about, endings and beginnings and debt and taxes and money coming to you from other people. And it also has to do with intimacy and how you show up as a we in relationship. That's where the sun in Gemini is. That's where Venus is. That's where Mercury is retrograding. That's where the North Node is hanging out. All of that in your house. Opposite that is the supermoon eclipse in the south node of Sag on May 26th, in your second house of money that you make from the work that you do, your value system, what matters to you, and how do you feel about yourself. So these two things are sort of sitting there looking at each other, and it's squaring your fifth house of creativity, romance, falling in love affairs, children. Right? So it could also have to do with entrepreneurial effort. So what does that square mean between, second, eighth, and fifth? What does all of that energy mean? Well, first of all, the Jupiter energy is going to be expanding this energy, this face off between this what matters to you and what matters to somebody else. So there's going to be some sort of change here. Eclipses always bring change, and the change is going to happen in your area of either money, but your money might be okay. It might have to do with how you're feeling about yourself and something, or something that matters to you. There being some sort of change there, and because it's sitting opposite your sign, this can be very, very emotional. So I recommend that you kind of step away from the whirlpool of emotions happening in your heart and distract yourself with the comforts of measurable money matters during this eclipse, just to help ground you. So it's likely to bring some sort of sudden changes within your financial life in ways where you can get more money. Maybe you're going to get a raise. Maybe you're going to run into some unforeseen expenses. Maybe you're going to decide to drop some sort of side gig that you're working on so that you can have some extra time for yourself. Whatever it is, though, whatever shift is, it's likely to be emotional. And rather than allowing your emotions to rule the day here, however it manifests, try to use it for your advantage. So some of you, another thing that I could see happening here is maybe there's discussion surrounding finances because you want to start your own business. The money that you have, second house, the money somebody else has, eighth house. Fifth house could be some sort of entrepreneurial effort, something that you want to launch. There might be a lot of discussion. Do we have enough money to have a baby? Do we have enough money to take that next step and move in together or get married? Or anything like that. Or even do you have enough money left over at the end of the day to do what you like to do in your life, because you have to pay back that big tax bill, that big debt, whatever it is. Whatever it is though, Scorpio, don't run away from it. This is the kind of thing, it's like, show up, do what you have to do. Don't allow your emotions to rule everything. Really kind of take the bull by the horns. If you've been procrastinating on anything having to do with anything regarding finances or regarding, debt, taxes, that settlement, anything like that, putting anything into motion, really focus in a very pragmatic and grounded way on these things, but try to stay emotionally grounded with whatever it is that you're doing. All right, this is going to pass, whatever it is. So don't give it too much weight, because I could see really you're all about right now taking care of your finances, taking care of your body, taking care of your welfare, making sure that you're okay, right? It's very much a Queen of Pentacles energy. Now, for some of you, as a general influence, there might be discussion of marriage, like I mentioned, or money coming to those of you who are already coupled. This could also have to do with good financial management. So a lot of you may be having money come in. I mean, this is because we do have that Jupiter energy. Jupiter is all about blessings, right? And it's squaring with it's in Pisces, which is about dreams, right? It's in your 5th house. So something really beautiful might be happening for you, having to do with some sort of entrepreneurial effort, or money coming into you maybe via a relationship, right? All of a sudden, more money showing up for you. Very fertile energy though as well. Very nice fertile energy. And because Jupiter is in Pisces in your 5th house and we have it squaring, the square can bring heightened energy as well. And you guys are Scorpio, you do rule sex, and the Queen of Pentacles, it does indicate a sensual sex life as well. So there might be, a lot of that activity going on for you. So go Scorpio, go, if that's your jam there, okay? So we have the energy here of the current situation. We have the 4 of Swords, and it's being challenged by the Lover's energy. So the 4 of Swords really is about taking a step back for perspective and trying to figure out a better strategy for moving something forward. So some of you might even be actively engaging in doing some really beautiful shadow work right now, which is always a good thing. Maybe therapy, whatever that is for you, really good thing. But you're trying to strategize. You're really wanting, that's what you're wanting to do. But what's challenging this is the Lover's energy, and which is always about choices. Lovers is always about choices, whether it has to do with relationship, money, or career situation, family, it doesn't really matter. If this has to do with a relationship, this does indicate, first of all, let's talk to the singles first, right? So if you're single, love yourself first and release any blocks so that you can manifest the relationship that you're really looking for when the time is right, and not putting yourself in a space where you're drawing negative energies towards you that don't work for you, right? If you're partnered, a love decision is needed, right? You have to make a choice here. Are we going to work through our problems together on the same page together to get the blessing of Archangel Raphael, or are we not? Because unless everybody is on the same page, right, it's that kind of thing. Some of you may be just in a space of confusion as well. We don't talk about that a lot with the Lover's energy, but keeping it real, it's a Gemini energy where it's like, you want something and then you don't want something, and so you might be battling this. But if it has to do with career, there's a choice here that you have to make. You just want to make sure that you do whatever you are really seriously considering here, if it has to do with career or money, that you're not doing something just for the money, right? Where you're looking for something that can offer you what's fulfilling in the long run and not just in the short term, right? So that's the situation right now. We have the Hermit energy as the crowning. So some of you may be single right now, where you're in this space of being very reflective about things that you've been through in the past, in your past relationships, and reflecting on these things so that you don't repeat the patterns, right? Which is a smart thing to do. Those of you who are in relationship, you're in this space where you're recognizing that more effort needs to be put in to a relationship, either by you, by them, or maybe a little bit of both of you. There has to be more energy, more energy and work to smooth over any issues that need addressing. If this has to do with career or money, it's time to step back and just look at what's not working. You might feel like it's time to try a different approach or a path to something. Some of you might even be meeting a new mentor during this time that's going to help you on your path, whatever it is that you want. We have the Four of Cups as the foundation energy. Who else got I feel like Libra got this too. Anyway, Four of Cups in the same position. Four of Cups indicates restlessness and boredom. Those of you who are single, you might be feeling very sort of apathetic and disillusioned, like, I'm never going to find a relationship I'm really happy with, or if you're coupled, this relationship is never going to be what I really want it to be, or this job is never really going to be what it is I want. It's like looked way different in my mind's eye than it is, in reality. Whatever it is, there's something there where you're sort of identifying things being wrong with the situation, almost like a list. It's this, 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 and this, and that's why I feel like it can't work. But what you have to look at, first of all, small changes in this area can go a long way, but you really have to try to work on healing any sort of unhealed issue in this area. And because there's such a heavy influence having to do with the money and value sector, maybe do you have maybe a lack mentality because maybe you were raised poor, or you were raised in a morally compromised environment and you want a different life for yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's like you want better for you than where you've been, and you not maybe paying attention so much up to this point of how that might have played out in your psyche when it comes to how you engage in relationships, business situations, how you view work, all of that, right? And these are general messages. I don't know your personal chart, where you have like, Pluto and Uranus in your natal chart. Those are very, very important things to understand in your natal chart. So we have right now, you are the 10 of Pentacles. So I like this because this indicates focus on maturing your resources and things that matter to you, things of value. You're showing up with bells and whistles on to deepen something. So if it's not deepening a commitment, deepening through shared values, right? Deepening of commitment to a job, deepening of commitment to grow your money, focusing on dealing with some sort of inheritance, either creating some sort of intergenerational wealth for your for your family moving forward, or just taking the bull by the horns to deal with some sort of inheritance situation or sharing situation that you're involved in right now. But the 10 is like, I'm here, right? Let's do this. Let's figure this out, because it's Mercury in Virgo. So it's like problem solving at its finest through a lot of communication, right? Because it's Mercury in Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo, but also rules Gemini. So it's like, let's figure out what we have to do here. So I like that. And I'm telling you, it's happening because Pluto is retrograde in your third house. Pluto retrograde, it's a slow transformation that's happening in how you communicate. So where maybe last year you would have been a lot more maybe hot-headed when it came to something, or more suspicious when it came to something that you would communicate with, or maybe just something that communicating in a way that maybe didn't best serve your interests ultimately, you're different now. And you're feeling the slow change. And it's a healthy change where you're really kind of accepting this idea where, and I always say this, I say this a lot. Those of you guys who have been watching me for a while know, if you keep doing what you did, you're going to keep getting what you got. That's what happens, right? But you're looking at that and you're saying, I've been feeling the tickle of this for about a year. Now I really feel comfortable in making the change. And a lot of you guys are. We have the Eight of Pentacles. This is really nice because this is about mastery, focusing on responsibilities within this situation in a really diligent and hardworking way. Whatever it is. It's money or connection is on its way as a result of your previous efforts, opportunity for furthering maybe your education or your skill set. Really nice. In general, though, just the need for logical diligent approach, whether it's in work, financial situation, or even in relationship, mental, physical, or emotional connection. Logical, diligent, right? Everything that I was saying before I pulled the cards. My recommendation for you with this eclipse is logical, diligent, grounded, boom. Do you know what I mean? Like, be Virgo right now. If you have a strong Virgo placement, tap into that energy right now. Grounded with some Mercury thrown in there, right? Now we have the challenge here, and the challenge for you is you might be dealing with a little bit of a messy energy. Somebody who's dishonest, somebody who's immoral, somebody who runs away from doing the right thing or showing up in the way they need to show up. This could be an energy who oversteps boundaries or is just plain old selfish. And you're going to need your spidey senses turned all the way up in order to figure out what the real dealio is with this person. Yeah. That's your block. This is your challenge. Now, for some of you, the challenge might be you showing up as the Seven of Swords, where you're in the space where, and now this is only for those who are really resisting this energy, where you're more focused on yourself and your own needs, and you're allowing yourself to become really, really emotional about things. If you find yourself in that space, forgive yourself, take some deep breaths, really good energy, honestly, to learn how to do breath work. So many good videos on it. You do, if you look up, like, do the breathing square, where inhale up, exhale across, inhale down, exhale across. Do that 10 times. I don't know if some of you know that one. Anything to just keep yourself grounded. We have in the near future the Three of Cups. You're going to be very happy here because something's going to happen very fair for you. So really nice. Whatever it is, if it's selling a home, buying a home, investment, insurance payout, that relationship situation, anything having to do with money or values, things, again, even your value system, right? But because it's happening in this is what's very interesting. There are 4 things really lit up right now in your chart. The axis of communication and negotiating, and the axis of money and shared values. So these things are being hardcore looked at right now. So there's going to be a lot of negotiation. You want to stay grounded. If you can do that, trust me, things are going to go a lot better for you. Because here you are saying, nope, this is what I want, need, and desire. Drawing a line in the sand, my friend. Mars and Leo is not playing. You recognizing that there's some sort of obstacle going on here, but you're very resilient right now, and you're going to be able to overcome whatever challenge is put in front of you, because you can smell something right in your reach that's going to bring you the success, or at least the outcome that you're looking for. You know something is possible. Your morality and your personal philosophy is so very, very important to you. Why? Because the sun is there right now for you. Right now, not the sun. I'm sorry. The sun is hanging out in your 8th house of cycles, and which is where you're like, nope. There's a lot of focus on things going in a very sort of fair and equitable way, recognizing that there's some sort of cycle happening here, but you saying, I know what I need on the other side of it. You're not being disagreeable, but you're also not willing to martyr yourself for a particular situation. So I like the Three of Pentacles, because this is about coming together and being able to collaborate a particular outcome. But it's going to require doing something different. Beautiful. This is a Uranus energy. Different approach. Different. Relating differently. We got 2 together. Okay, so what came out first? So Temperance. Beautiful. Sagittarius energy. So this is about cooperation and really having a meeting of the minds. Great energy for negotiating, and that's what this eclipse is going to be all about. Excellent for negotiating. And then we have the Ace of Swords clarifying that. This is a great read, honestly. This is about new beginnings, decisions, clear thinking in work and love, any other area of life, and an immediate change to your circumstances for the better. But you're going to be very, very mentally agile, which I like here. there is this air vibe here, right? Where it's like staying in the mental. I'm not letting my emotions come in and wreck anything. I'm not doing that, right? And because of that, you're going to be able to get over any sort of past obstacles. It's like getting what you want, like thoughts becoming things kind of thing. But keep in mind, this is not to say that the reason something hasn't worked out up to this point is because of you, and then you change and everything is like, works out. It's you tempering how you respond to things, or maybe you react wherever you're at, but also at the same time, you're very smart to how someone else is being. So it's almost like the combination of those two things is really going to work beautifully for you. Yeah, Queen of Wands. One more. Yeah, I mean, you are just not playing. It's just very interesting. Because again, see, the thing is, you would never get the Seven of Wands if there was not this energy of conflict within the situation. So you lay down, what it is that you want, need, and desire. Say, I'm willing to work with you on this. Let's try a different approach. Let's negotiate. Let's cooperate. Let's try something different. And boom, let's go. Well, let's just focus on getting past these obstacles. And this is just the healthiest communication coming from your end. And we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse showing up. We didn't really get any other reversals here, I don't think. So I pay attention when that happens. So we have the Knight of Swords reverse here. This is expect the unexpected. Now, as an influence, depending on the situation that you're resonating with this could be very much, I always call this a roller coaster energy, highs and lows, and things popping out, conflicts coming out, and those conflicts or those surprises can be super confusing or really relieving. Depending on what your situation is. It's like some sort of truth comes out and you're like, oh, right, I see now why that happened, all of a sudden out of nowhere. Or you might be dealing with an energy that's really driven and forthright and ready to fight for what they believe in relationship. And this is just the kind of relationship person who's just never really happy. And then they make a mess, a lot of drama, and then they move on and they take no responsibility for what's going on. But just be careful, Scorpio. We have to know ourselves. Make sure that's not you, because then we have the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is really about feeling very focused on security and self-protection, right? And making sure that you have enough. So some of you may be just very in this mode of protecting your sense of values and what matters to you, protecting your heart. Others of you are protecting your money. Maybe you're protecting both at the same time. So you may come in and just be like, listen, I'm not putting up with this, right? You may do that, right? You may decide to separate yourself from a situation though, regardless. And I feel like you wouldn't be doing that if you didn't feel like somebody was not threatening your foundation and you being able to feel safe and secure in something. So you're showing up and you're like, look, I have to take care of me, because guess what? If I don't take care of me, who is? I have to show up for myself. That's the Four of Pentacles energy. It's not, Four of Pentacles gets a bad rap because a lot of readers call it the miser card. It's really not. I mean, maybe in the reverse it is, but in the upright, it's just like, look, I want to really just make sure I have what I need to live my life, And then we have the Hermit energy. So the Hermit energy can indicate you sort of stepping back, going it alone, for a little bit, and really looking at what's gone on here. And just trying a different approach to something. You recognizing that something in your life needs a new approach, Scorpio. Because at the end of the day, it's up to you to take care of your finances, your body, your mind. It's all up to you, right? And you're going to be in this space where you're like, with the moon can feel very disappointed, right? Confused. Feeling let down and having this lack of trust that a situation is going to be able to work. And that ends up leading you to a decision to start something new. So some of you, this new decision to start something new, this could be, especially because of the axis that energy is heading, a new job, a new approach to money. For some of you, if you're recognizing as a connection, this would be a new relationship. Because it's almost like, you know, for those of you who had to do career or money, it's like you might achieve something, but you're wondering if it was even worth the effort. And then emotions run high, and you feel like you need to protect yourself from others' negativity with this Four of Pentacles, right? So you just want more satisfaction. You just want more satisfaction here, is what I'm seeing. Let me just pull a couple of... Definitely want more satisfaction. But it's almost like you feel like you have to fight for it. Fight for what you believe in. Some of you in relationship because of that 5th house square. Some of you in some sort of business situation. Some of you maybe even regarding your children, right? 2nd house, 8th house square, and the 5th house kids. Some of you guys might be arguing some sort of divorce settlement so that you have enough to take care of your kids. Yeah, time for a nap. I always say, I think I just said it in one of the other videos, you want to see somebody strong who's like a lion, like relentless, who would move mountains, is a single mother worrying about feeding her kids, worried about the welfare of her children. You want to see mountains move? Yes. Okay. We have time for a nap. Go to the sea. Yes, this is exactly what I was saying, right? As far as the astrology goes. Okay. We have time for a nap to the sea. You know what that means? Don't react. Don't react. This is the kind of thing where we need to just respond. In order to get what you want, in order to bring yourself to where you need to be, reacting is not going to get you anywhere. Responding will. What's the difference? We think before we respond. When we react, we don't. It's like, boom. What do you mean? Da, 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 da. You know, and we're all like that sometimes. It's so much easier to be that way than like, okay, let me step back. Let me take a few breaths, right? I mean, it's awesome for people who are super, you know, comfortable doing that. Don't be surprised if, you know, if you don't. You might be able to hold your tongue in the moment, but then you're gonna, you know, you would lose it. And which is, you know, something we love that about Scorpios, how passionate you guys are. So we love that about you, but just temper it for now anyway. I'm really going to comfortably say, really try to temper it for the next several weeks, right? Whatever's going on having to do with that money value system kind of thing, right? Just don't engage, don't instigate, don't fuel, and, you know, don't feed any fires or anything like that. If you can. This is just for relationship now, okay? We have Pride. And Alchemy. Those are two that typically don't go together, so this should be interesting, right? Because usually you have to put your pride down in order to have alchemy. Alchemy means combining things, right? Think about the Temperance card, right? Think about negotiating, compromising, right? It's very hard to compromise when we're entrenched in our pride, or compromise with somebody else when they're entrenched in their pride. So you might be dealing with somebody who's struggling with their pride right now, or you might be struggling with your pride right now. Everybody does from time to time. Not a big deal, but this might need to be looked at. So let's see what we have going on here. So with Queen of Wands reverse, close by the Justice energy. Okay, so right straight out of the gate, I'm getting that you're dealing with somebody who's unfair, where there is an unfair person involved here. Okay. You know, the energies could always be enmeshed in tarot, right? Because is the situation right now, first of all, let's go 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles is showing up as really putting in a lot of hard work into the relationship, being really patient, and not for nothing, because there's this clear identification that the relationship has a lot of potential for success. So whatever your situation has been in the relationship, you were in the space of not giving up because you felt like it would get better, you know? And then we have the Queen of Wands in reverse, which is somebody who's kind of cold, could be aggressive. Doesn't have to be a woman. It could be a man, right? Gender doesn't matter here. But this is somebody also maybe kind of disconnected, very kind of apathetic. Could be an angry individual, somebody who's just really, really angry. And that challenge, that is being challenged by fairness. So it's really this idea of what's fair, what's not fair. So, right away I'm saying, okay, somebody's emotional needs are not being met. Somebody is not being fair with money, not being fair with connection, meaning like communication, you know what I mean? Like feeling like you're connected, because justice is a Libra energy, and Libra rules the 7th house of partnerships, and it's ruled by Venus. And Venus is money, self-esteem, and love. And how do we feel in all of those areas? If there is an imbalance in our Venusian energy, right, what happens is we get a lot of jealousy, a lot of manipulation, a lot of the kind of feeling very validated and being manipulative and shady, right? So you might be sensing this, right, in a relationship that you're in, sensing that there's some sort of imbalance. Maybe you guys have been tested. This can indicate things getting better as long as there's balance had, right? But this could also indicate, Scorpio, where somewhere in either the relationship that you're in, outside the relationship, if you're single, you're just feeling this about somebody, where some sort of physical attraction can end up serving to mask deeper issues that really need to be addressed here. So you want to make sure that you're not talking about the big important things that are going on, and then just, being intimate instead, because that's more fun and that feels better than talking about the icky elephant in the room, in the relationship, right? So that needs to be addressed. Also, it does seem like somebody needs their ego stroked in order for there to be balanced had. We have the 3 of Cups energy. So 3 of Cups is a very interesting energy to me as a reader, because on the one hand, it's a very celebratory, abundant energy where you're getting a lot of support. There's a lot of like emotional, maybe even physical healing, depending on your situation. This is also an energy for new relationships. 3 is the number of creation and all of that. But it's also the energy of like partying, right? So depending on where you're at, you want to make sure that you don't party too hard, but it's sort of like a very celebratory vibe. So when we have this with the strength energy, which is Leo is the house of fun. So we have the house of fun as the crowning, and then we have the 3 of Cups as the foundation. There might be some sort of situation where you might be dealing with somebody who's just kind of going out and partying too much, entertaining other energies. You might be doing that. And it just might be this kind of thing where if you're doing it, why are you doing it? Are you doing it just to have fun? Are you doing it to escape? Like, what do you, I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that to have a good time. But because of the way the energies are coming in, it looks like it might be something to look at, any of that interpretation. So we have the Magician as you right now, which is nice. It's interesting to me, only because Pluto's retrograde in your 3rd house. And the 3rd house is Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, but Mercury also rules Virgo. So this is having conversations and within yourself, primarily, about solving any kind of problem that you're having within relationships. So you really putting your thinking cap on for yourself and thinking about how you can make something work. Because the Magician really is about communication between you and another person going really well, problems being addressed, resolved, deeper understanding of each other and all of that. Now, there might even be conversation with the Magician energy, conversation within your relationship about selling your home, or the decision to move to a new home for an improved life, or conversations about doing home improvements. And that would definitely feed into the line of that 2nd house, 8th house energy, right? Because all of that would be money, right? And it would be ending the way something is and then beginning another one, right? So it could be several of those things at once. So we have the 3 of Pentacles, which has to do with collaborating, success. I call this the architect card, right? Because it's coming in and it's designing how things are going to be moving forward and coming together and allowing that to happen, right? Allowing the beautiful aspects of a relationship to shine. It's very interesting to me because I feel like you in relationship right now, Scorpio, are very glass half full. And I just saw the alchemy, because the magician is another alchemy energy. But I feel like you're dealing with somebody who's very, very prideful. And they may not handle that the best way, because we have the Seven of Swords coming up as your challenge energy. So I feel like, gosh, you know what, guys? If you're dealing with a Libra, check out Libra's reading. Because, I mean, I shuffle the deck 6 times before I put my camera on, and I sage and I do blah, 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 all that stuff. And I feel like, I might be wrong, but I feel like Libra got this in the same position, which would be interesting to me. Or you might have heavy Libra placement, and this is just reinforcement. Anyway, Seven of Swords is about dishonesty, right? Overstepping boundaries, somebody who's selfish. The Seven of Swords is a moon in Aquarius, right? So moon is hidden things that are going on underneath, and Aquarius is different than you see, different than you think, different than normal. So this could indicate somebody kind of wearing a mask, or somebody's feelings changing about a certain situation and not really talking about it, right? And that being the block. So you might be feeling that a person that you're with, you might be vibing that their feelings are changing about the relationship, or that they're being dishonest or prideful in some sort of way, and they're not really allowing the relationship to happen. Or you might be blocked by the fact that even though you're giving it a good college try, your feelings might be changing about relationship in general. We have the Four of Cups in the near future. So this is restlessness, boredom. If you're single right now, feeling very disillusioned if you're ever going to meet the one. If you're coupled, being in the space where are things ever just going to feel just settled, right? Things just feel good. And the thing that's this checklist energy, I always call it. It's like, and they do this, and they do that, and they do that. And when I'm in relationship, this, and this happens. And all of that might be 100% true. But this also shows a need to work through some sort of past unhealed issues, where just little changes can go a long way. Just really identifying might even be it. But for those of you who are coupled, you might be just flat out bored right now. Maybe you're bored. You're bored. You want to change the scenery, we're a year plus into whatever. It's like a year and a half almost. It's a year and a couple of months with COVID. Well, maybe you just want to move. You want to get me out of here kind of thing, right? But your partner might not be agreeing with you. This could also be going on. The Four of Cups energy could also mean that, right? General message. So I'm going to give a couple of interpretations. And then we have, as the final outcome energy, we have the Six of Pentacles. I like this card. I really do, because this is about having each other's back. This has to do with property and family and inheritance, right? So there might be some of that in the mix. I want to throw that in particularly for you guys because of this second house, 8th house axis that's being lit up for you this week with the eclipse. But also generosity and support. So if you've been struggling, things getting better, as a couple, if you've been struggling, things getting better, which is good. But you guys just really helping each other out. There being some sort of support coming in, which is nice. We have the Four of Pentacles, which has to do with being very, very self-protected, worried about security, worried about the security of a situation. We have the Ace of Wands, awesome, auspicious for a new beginning. All right, now this is a virility energy. So, for some of you, this could be new fill in the blank. Okay. For some of you, new relationship, new home, finding out you're pregnant or working on getting pregnant. Think about it as a new chapter of passion, creativity, motivation, virility, anything like that. So it's something brand new. So it's a page changing kind of thing. We have the High Priestess energy. So the High Priestess energy for me, I feel like, first of all, be patient with this energy. It's very internal. You might be thinking and feeling things inside that you're not really sharing. High Priestess is a very, very secretive energy. You and your partner, you might be keeping a part of your life secret from others right now, and you may have very good reasons to, for whatever reason. We have the World. Beautiful. Let's just pull the rest here. Temperance. Wow, nice. Beautiful. So I feel like let's pull one more. Death. Ace of Swords. Wow. I mean, there's no question here. You're having new beginnings. Absolutely. I'm getting like 3 different messages here because we have the Ace of Wands. This is really important, this one, because Ace means brand new. Right? So everything that I mentioned, right? There being this new beginning. But then we have the High Priestess. Something is being held a secret. So this could be, I don't know, a new affair. New... Well, you know, the High Priestess is also a moon energy. Moon is mother. So you might be finding out that you're pregnant. For those of you in that space. But then we have the World, which is about, it's one of the most positive cards in the deck. This and the Sun. This is about happiness and fulfillment and love and all of that after completion, after learning a lesson, right? And what's clarifying that? How did that happen? But because of compromise, right? This is cooperation, reconciliation, moderation, healing, right? Trust, cooperation had after a difficult time period. Okay. Now, I just want to say for some of you, if you're single, if you've been single, you may be heavily, heavily energetically drawn towards somebody who might be married or with somebody else. And that's why it's being kept a secret, right? Because this could certainly end up being a situation here, like an affair kind of thing. We have the Two of Cups, which can indicate new passion, right? But this could also indicate for those of you in relationship, things have been difficult, harmony returning, you being able to figure things out, you know, mutually supportive relationship. But the Two of Cups is a very important conversation. I want you to think about it as like you guys sitting down with your emotions and saying, okay, we're going to talk about this, okay? Let's figure out what we're going to do, because this is very much a proposal energy, right? What are we going to do about this? And the Death energy, this is you, right? It's a Scorpio energy. This is all about endings and beginnings, right? In relationship, where the relationship ends or there's that separation that's really necessary if it's ever going to find its footing again later on. So however you guys have been relating up to this point, it wasn't healthy, right? So now it's this decision maybe to just sort of step away for the moment, or at least just say, like, if this is going to work, we have to do things completely different. Then we have the Ace of Swords, which is nice. This is getting over past obstacles and getting what you want, thoughts becoming things. So I feel like you're going to have to, like, really heavily deal with somebody else, somebody's pride. But I do see there being some resolve. I see some of you dealing with an affair and others of you fixing your relationship. I think you're going to just know energetically which one you would be resonating with. Anyway, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.